And friends, we're always having a good time on this program. Today is September 11th, and I wanted to do something a little bit different for September 11th. And one of the nicest things that could ever happen to me as a host, as a radio announcer, as a disc jockey, whatever you want to call me, is to have a guest come back. Not only to have a guest come back, but to have a guest really be a friend. And I got to tell you, this guy, I've been talking about him all morning. I was telling you about him last week. I have so much respect for this guy. I was sent his authorized biography on a DVD, which I just found fascinating. And we talked with him a few months back on the program when his latest CD, Let's Hear It for Love, was released. We've been playing lots of music from this CD. Of course, you know him from the huge hit single, Into the Night. Ladies and gentlemen, Benny Mardones once again. How you doing, Benny?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. It's such a pleasure to have you back on the program and to be able to talk to you again. We had so much email and so many people came in the chat room with our last conversation a few months ago. Everyone concerned about you, concerned about your health. The first question I got to ask you is they want to know, how are you feeling?
Thanks for asking, Jason. I got to tell you, I'm feeling great. I had a rough time the last couple of months, as you know, but they started me on a new medicine, and I got to tell you, I'm starting to feel like my old self again. I keep writing songs, and when I made this last album, Let's Hear It for Love, I told everyone this was my last album, but now I'm hoping that maybe I was wrong. I'm going to go see my doctors today, and if they can keep my voice, if they can get my voice back, I'm having some problems with it. If they can fix it, by God, I'm going to keep recording because it's what I love to do. It's why I'm alive. It's what keeps me young, and it's certainly what keeps me going, man. And I appreciate your concern.
It's often, dare I say this, it's probably why you were put here on this earth. And the reason I say that is, by the way, when we talked last time, we were just a weekend show. We were just on a piddly Saturday morning time. Since then, Benny, we filled in 1 week several months ago on the morning show. They loved us so much that they asked us to do the morning. So we're a morning show now. We're on daily from 6 to 9 a.m.
Fantastic.
And
fantastic.
When that happened, I started to think about this. And I started to think, maybe this is what I was meant to do. Maybe this is the calling.
There you go, kid.
Maybe this is it. I'm here to help artists. Artists have helped me over my life. Your music has touched me. Your music has lifted me up in times when I was really down. And now it's time for me to repay you. So I'm so glad you were able to do the show with us this morning. One of the things I want to talk to you about is this thing you got coming up on Saturday, September 16th. Explain to us what you're doing for Parkinson's Awareness Walk.
Well, I've been asked to be the Grand Marshal this year, which is an incredible honor. They're expecting between 5,000 and 10,000 people. It's the Parkinson's Walkathon, and we're going to raise a lot of money for research. And as you know, I've been doing some one-man shows around the country raising money as well. So far this year, I've raised in excess of $150,000 for Parkinson's research. And we're just trying to get the word out there that we need money, we need stem cell research. I don't care what anybody says, that's the only way it's ever going to work. And we're out there trying to save lives and save our own lives at the same time. But it's something that's touched my heart and my life, as you know, and it has changed my life. And because of that, I'm out there swinging because I've always been a fighter and I've always liked a good fight, and by God, the good Lord has given me one now. So I better get busy on it,
And where is this walk going to take place?
It's going to take place in New York, in upstate New York, in a place called New Hartford.
Okay.
And there's a brand new facility up there for Parkinson's patients, and the day before the walkathon, I'm going to go to the facility and entertain them and visit them and give them light at the end of the tunnel, because a lot of these people have given up, and I refuse to allow that to happen. I go in there and I tell them, by God, I'm coming back. And the last time I was there, I was in the middle of singing Into the Night, and a woman walked up to me literally 2 feet from me while I'm singing on stage, and she just stood there. When I finished the song, she said, "My husband is crying. Would you come and talk to him?" I said, ladies and gentlemen, please excuse me, because there were like 500 people I was singing to. And I walked to her husband and I said, why are you crying? He said, when you sing, it makes me cry. And I said, listen, I'm coming back in December to do a concert at the casino, and I'm coming to see you. And he said, I won't be alive. There's no sense in coming to see me. And I got mad, and I said, Lou, you listen to me, pal. If I fly 3,000 miles from Los Angeles to New York, and I drive an hour and a half from the airport to come here and see you, you're going to be here. You understand? I want you to tell me that you're going to be here. I want you to tell me. And he said, I'll try. And his wife was just crying her eyes out. I said, no, I don't want to hear that you're going to try. Nonsense. I want you to look at me right now. I want you to tell me you're going to be here when I get there in December. And he said, okay, I'll be here. And let me tell you something. I just called yesterday to see how he was doing, and he's so excited about me coming next week. And there again, he's going to be there. So you have to give these people hope. You have to give them light at the end of the tunnel. And as far as me, I feel that God's hand is on me. I've had a good life. Whatever hand he deals me, I'm ready to play it. And if I believe, like you, that everything is for a reason. And if God gave me Parkinson's, maybe it's to get me out there fighting for these people that can't do it on their own.
You're listening to JJ Radio. It's Jason Jeffries and friends. Our very special guest, a friend of ours, Benny Mardones. You know him best from Into the Night. I want to introduce you to a new song, and I want Benny to talk about this song before we play it. There's a new song you recorded for September 11th. Tell us about it. Why did you decide to record this and release this?
Well, you're talking about United We Stand?
Yep.
Well, Joel Diamond, a legendary record producer, ex-president of CBS, called me up and said, Benny, there's a great song, if you remember from the past, called United We Stand. And, of course, I knew the song well, you know. And he said, I'd really like you to go in with the choir and with another girl, and I'd like you to do a record on it. We did this a while ago, and he mixed it, and he sent me a copy, and I called him and said, this is sensational. I mean, this is amazing. He said, I want to get it ready for 9/11. And, of course, today, as you know, is time for something like this to happen. We need it now more than ever. And this is a song that's near and dear to my heart because Joel Diamond, believe it or not, 37 years ago gave me my first job in the music business as a staff writer at CBS. So when he called me, I had nothing to say but yes. I'm very pleased that you have it today, and the fact that you're going to play it is beautiful, Jason. Beautiful.
This is Benny Mardones, United We Stand, on JJ Radio, Jason Jeffries and Friends.
This is America, land of the free and home of the brave. Standing side by side, you face our destiny. One big family.
Join with you and me to fight for liberty. Yeah. For united we stand, divided we fall. And if our back should ever be against the wall, we'll be together, you and I. Seems to fall apart, then we'll still be here. Yeah, if the going gets too tough along the way, yeah, just you call, we'll be. Together.
JJ Radio, Jason Jeffries and Friends with a song called United We Stand. That's Benny Mardones. Benny is our special guest right now on this September 11th broadcast. Benny, I got to tell you, I'm a huge fan, and there are so many of our listeners that just enjoy your music. They're so happy with the song we just played and the entire album that you released this year. I'm really glad to hear that you're feeling better and you're writing songs. You're looking forward to a new album. That's really good news.
I got to tell you, pal, 2 months ago, if you'd have called me, I had almost given up. I was so sick from this Parkinson's and from the medicine that I didn't even think I'd be around. I tell you the truth, I said, I can't live like this. That I just prayed hard. I have beautiful people that surround me, great friends, and they bolstered me up when I was down. Without your friends, you got nothing, pal. And I get emotional now talking about it because if it wasn't for people that, care about me, that love me, I'd have probably given up once or twice, between the last 4 or 5 years. But by God, nobody's going to make me give up now.
That's a true statement, my friend. It's a true statement. It's nothing better than friendship. And I got to tell you, you've got many friends out there. Many you may have not had the chance to meet yet, but they love your music and they love you. Speaking of your music, too, congratulations. The latest single, the current single off the last record.
The Train.
Climbing up the AC charts.
Yes, it is. The Train Don't Stop Here Anymore. I wrote that. That's the song that got me the record deal. I was sitting at my piano at 3 o'clock in the morning one night, not so long ago, just a few months ago, and I was thinking to myself, well, it's pretty much over. It's been a great ride. It's been a great ride. God's been good to me. I've had a great life, but there's no way at this point in my life I'm going to get a major record deal. There's no way in my life that I'm going to, do more than what I've done right now. And then I said to myself, I remember when I used to be the man, and I just sat there, and all of a sudden I just played, "Oh, I used to be the man," and that's what started the song. And the next day, I went to a recording studio where a friend of mine is, and I showed him the song. I said, "Yeah, I wrote something last night," and the legendary producer Jim Irvin happened to be there, and he said, "Did you write that song?" I said, "Yeah, I wrote it. I finished it about 5:30 this morning." He said, "I think that's the best song I've heard all year." I said, "You're kidding." He goes, "Benny, that's a classic, man." And so I thanked him, and I left. And the next day there was a knock on my door. And Jim Irvin, works with Eminem, 50 Cent, Eve, the Rough Riders. I mean, he's a major record producer. And he was at my door with his assistant. I said, "Jimmy, what are you doing here?" He said, "Let's make this signature Benny Mardones album. If this is your last album, by God, let's make it the best ever." And I said, "Well, I don't have a record deal." He says, "As of 10 o'clock this morning, my friend, you have a record deal with Warner Brothers on my label, Warrior Records." I said, "Who's putting up the money?" He said, "I'm putting up the money." He says, come in on Friday. And 3 days later, I showed up at the studio, and he already had the track to Train. And so this song that I thought was sort of like my way of lamenting that, the ride was over, ended up getting me another record deal. I felt like Michael Corleone, in Godfather 3, just when I thought I was out, they got me back in,
Well, we were the first ones to play it.
You were.
You've heard it here first. Let's play it again. Benny Mardones, The Train Don't Stop Here Anymore, with a bullet.
You're the greatest.
It's JJ Radio, Jason Jeffries and Friends.
Oh, I used to be the man. Had lots of friends and lots of fans. And the pictures on the wall say we used to have it all, till your heart made other plans. Now my life has come and gone. I did a few too many things wrong. It's just my way, and it's too late for regrets. How I hope the one you met will never sing my song. 'Cause the train don't stop here anymore. It just passes in the night, oh, the night. And the street that led me to your door, it's always dark without a single light. But if I could just go back in time to when you were mine, and maybe live my life again, I'd open up the door. I'd love you like before. But the train don't stop here anymore. Oh, anymore. Late at night I stumble in. I sit and think what might have been. 'Cause when you're living life too fast, true love can never last. Temptation always wins, like a ghost town in the west. Memories are all that's left, oh, memories. I made all my dreams come true. How'd I end up losing you when I had the very best? Hey, hey, 'cause the train don't stop here anymore. No, no, it just passes in the night. Hey, and the street that led me to your door, it's always dark without a single light, not a light. And if I could just go back in time to when you were mine, and maybe live my life again, I'd open up the door. I'd love you like before. But the train don't stop here anymore. Oh, no, 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 the train don't stop here anymore. Oh, when the lonely whistle blows, everybody knows. Oh, the train don't stop here anymore. The train don't stop here anymore. Oh, not anymore. The train don't stop here anymore, anymore, anymore.
That's Benny Mardones and the current single, The Train Don't Stop Here Anymore, climbing the AC charts with a bullet. It's JJ Radio, Jason Jeffries and friends. We're winding up our time with Benny Mardones here today, our special guest on September 11th.
I certainly want to come back. I tell you that. You're one of my favorite people on radio, pal.
Oh, thank you so much. And you're one of my favorite artists for many reasons. One of the reasons is you're a kind human being, and I wish more people in the world were like you. I can learn a lot from you.
That's awfully sweet of you to say that.
Another thing I want to ask you just real quickly to talk about, seeing that today is September 11th, do you have any thoughts on September 11th?
You know, I got to tell you, I prayed this morning very hard. I went outside. I'm staying at a good friend of mine's house, Pat Healy, who's an incredible filmmaker. As a matter of fact, has a new movie coming out called Pinche Burro, which is just a phenomenal film. And I've been staying at his home for a few days since I got back into town. I walked out this morning and looked at the ocean, and I said a prayer for all the souls of the people that were lost on 9/11. And to this day, when I think about it or talk about it, I get emotional. And I know a lot of people have pros and cons about what's going on over in Iraq and everything else, but my opinion is real simple. Whatever we have to do to stop these lunatics from blowing themselves up with other people and trying to blow up airplanes and stuff, whatever we got to do, we have to do. We have to stop this. It's insanity going wild. And my thoughts are with the families. My thoughts are with everyone that has to take an elevator up a skyscraper that thinks about that and lives in some sort of fear. I'm here to tell you prayer works. Prayer is powerful. And at the end of the tunnel, there's going to be some daylight, and we're going to end up coming out on top. We've got to get through this together, and by God, we have to stand together, united, as the song says, as a country and as a people.
Couldn't have said it any better myself. Amen, Benny. Amen.
Thank you, pal.
You have a good visit at the doctor today, and as you said at the beginning of this interview, you know that advice you gave to that fella in New York City?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the same thing back. You will be here next year, and you will be putting out another record, not only for me, but for all the fans.
God bless you, man. From your mouth to God's ears, thank you so much. And tell everyone I send my love and thank you for all the years of requesting Into the Night, and all the years of you spinning it, my friend. God bless you.
Let's do it again. Benny Mardones, the classic, Into the Night, on JJ Radio, Jason Jeffries and Friends.
That's what I'm talking about.
She's just 16 years old. Leave her alone, they said. Separated by fools who don't know what love is yet. But I want you to know, if I could fly, I'd pick you up. But I want you to know, if I
Non-stop music. JJ Radio.